All right, signature level up. Nice. Let's grab Bullseye. Level up on M-Dugs. Level up on Six Sock. What's next for Six Sock? Recover, presumably. Okay. Probably sits for a minute, especially since the Bannerman's all pissy. Okay. Hello, Sulkanar. Would what work, Ocean? Yeah, make the default sort button just do it by value. That'd be good. I mean, the whole point of it is so I can easily transfer stuff into my inventory that's worthwhile, right? Let's take a quick peek over here while we're just near the mountain. See how this is such a deep mountain range. Okay. So we gotta find, I guess it's west then, where we want to go. Okay. Get there in time. No longer ambush trade routes. 600 crowns. Shmuka will work it off. Okay. Next ambition. 3 men with heavy armor. I wonder what 3 armor with heavy armor counts as. Anyone know the answer to that? I don't have a personal mod maker. Wyoan makes mods for the community. He just uses this stream to help showcase them. 30, does that include attachments? I want to go fight orcs. Alright, so my wildman cost me 600. 3 230 helms and 3 230 armor. That's very difficult for us to manage. Alright, they are buying at 18, which seems pretty good. Got 6 kite shields. That's exactly how many I want. I don't want more. I don't want less. I actually think this 130 helm is very good. But maybe an upgrade on something like the banner. I don't want Smuko leaving. I do like that we gave him a pay cut. Let's give him a beer. Have a beer. It's alright, Smuko. Yeah. Nice. Okay. I wonder how much of a cut it was. All of our archers have double ammunition right now. Yes, 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 yes. Maybe not. I think I'll hold 1 bow. Oops. Thought I was selling. I don't want the Warhammers. They're just not a good tool for us. So I guess I'm going to sell it. 130 hat kind of blows. Is it an upgrade for anybody? Yeah, I guess it's a slight upgrade over some of the stuff we're running still. Alright. We should paint something white. Which hat wants to be made into a different color? Just kidding, we're going to sell our paint because we don't terrible players and we want to min-max our gold here. Look at that. It was 22 bucks we could have wasted on making one of our hats white. Feels bad. All right. A little low on ammunition right now. What's the mission? Reach a meeting. It's probably fine. Okay. I kind of want to roll on this guy, but I kind of want to go to the Citadel instead. Oh, is he gone? No, he's there. Triple fatigue, resolve, drunkard. He's garbage. Okay. So we're going to go through the Citadel. Poke our head over here. Brigands. It's not bad. To see if they're coming out of anywhere. I mean, I'd take that fight if it shows back up. I'm not going to go out of my way to find it. It's not a particularly exciting fight. Alright. There's a bastard here. He's quite expensive. I do want a bastard in our stuff. 229 tools, 172 ammunition. That's all very expensive. They're buying at 17, which isn't that good. Where's their... They don't have... Oh, there's their weaponsmith. Give me a whip. Yes! There we go. Battle whip. Obtained. Okay. I wouldn't mind three-headed flails, too. I just don't think I can afford them right now. Alright. How do I make a... What's a check mark? What's the code for a check mark? Can't I strike through it? What are my text options? No, not a lot of text. Not a lot of text options in this that I know how to use. Okay. All right, what else do we have? Whip obtained. That goes here. This guy gets the knife. Okay. Alt 0252. Let's see if that works. Well, it did something. It wasn't the right one. Alt 251. Also not the right one. Alt 1003. Also not the right one. I did them all on channel. All three of them on It's weird that it works in Twitch chat. Yeah, I get the check mark in Twitch chat as well, but I don't get it in, although that looks kind of a little bit like doesn't work. First type 2702, we want it. Then select what the fuck that means. Copy it over. Yeah. Guess I can. All right. That's good. Copy paste worked. Thanks, chat. I don't know why I didn't trigger for me itself though. It did other things. All right. We're gonna hold the bow, leveling a hybrid. We're gonna check their backgrounds. It's just a very expensive guy. Oh, it's a very cheap caravan here. Melee skill, range skill, double HP, strong, bleeder. This might be a hybrid. We could at least hire and take a look. 41's really low. I don't think so. Is a caravan hand? Yeah, why shouldn't I think it would be pretty easy as long as nets still break it. I don't know that we want to be playing around that, but I like the armor too. Yeah, it's a caravan hand. He has good fatigue, and he's got the +10 fatigue, which is why we rolled on him in the first place, right? So coming in at 114.62. I don't love bleeder, but it's not the worst. No range defense here. I don't think it's good enough. Not too bad even without nets. Okay. Let's try it maybe. Next, Ildrix fixed already. Like nets don't break it anymore. That's good. I did tweet at them. Might cost you a few bros. Alright, well if we find it, we'll consider it for sure. Alright, we need something that doesn't suck. We got our whip, I guess. That's good. We'll get paid. How about some missions that don't suck? Anything? Nope. Maybe back to our trade good location. Alright. Trade good location, then west again. Should have bought food there. Low on food. They've been raided. Down what terrorizes seems good. Okay. It's fucking dire wolves again. Ugh. 10 dire wolves. How do I feel about 10 dire wolves? Great. Love 10 dire wolves. What could make me happier? Okay. For the banner. I know, wife. I know you're gone for 2 weeks. Does not mean text all the time during my streaming times. Please, please. Bring some shit archers for this? Probably. I want to level this hybrid very badly too. 6, 7. I guess we can drop the level 7 temporarily. Run something like this. Okay. Do we want to upgrade our armor to the 190? Probably. We can afford it stam-wise. M-Dug's at 88 stam. Seems pretty good. Do I want to throw some attachments onto it? Probably. Alright. Let's engage. 7 to 10. Am I role playing? Sometimes it's games in games filthy. No. Oh, I should have spear walled there. I wonder why I didn't. Who knows? 10, so we max rolled in the number we can have. It's unfortunate. Pretty decent first round for us. Fast adaptation loses it, then it loses it off something else. Madrak. It loses it off of when it scatters into the bushes or something stupid, or when it scatters into the next guy. Basically, the idea of getting stacks of fast adaptation is super good idea on archers, except it doesn't fucking work. Alright. Trying to break them all. That one's the annoying one. Yeah, I don't like it either. It's like, you can test it more all you like. You just show up to tell me that I was wrong on that and then not test the rest of it. played extensively with that perk on archers, and it just was too frustrating to have it reset off nothing. Feels like a broken perk to me, honestly. Like the fact that a shield hit counts as a hit is or a bush hit counts as a hit is really dumb. An axe. Alright, Wolves, I'm ready for you to leave. We have video footage of it somewhere. I just haven't done it in a couple of seasons. Why? Why? Are you still here? Feel free to leave, Wolf. Great. Alright, that really wasn't that bad. Looks like our gear and guys have gotten to the point where a couple wolves aren't that big of a deal. Okay. So mission here, 205 is a great buy price, 54 is a great buy price. 148 is not great, but we're gonna take it. So we need stuff. What's the mission? Not really what we're looking for. Go. Ideally with fast adaptation, if you scattered, you wouldn't lose it. And if you hit the shield, you wouldn't lose it. And if you hit a fucking bush, you wouldn't lose it. All right, no people here. There's a mission. Maybe unhold. No, it's brigands. Okay. What are they buying at here? 15. Okay. Was that strats or unholds? This is unholds. The other one was one of the ones that's like go kill XYZ of all the different types. Defend from its raiders. This is a camping mission, right? I just sit here. Go. There's no outskirts in this town, right? Go. Let's grab archer levels. Great. Stam seems relevant. HP is relevant too, though. These are all nimble tanks, right? Basically. I don't know if this is nimble or Battleforged, actually. Should have thought about that before assigning that HP. And Shmuko, finally. Do we take one melee attack? It's kind of awkward. That was 219, but it's going to get better after we complete the mission, so there's no need to buy it right now. Three stams a mineral, so is one attack. One attack's probably more valuable long term for us. We want quick hands here. And what are we doing with Shmukel? Or not Shmukel, Darple, excuse me. 120 fatigue. It's actually probably enough for Battleforged. Go. Alright. Is that 20 brigands? Which one do you think is the actual raiding party? Or are they both the actual raiding party? I think they're both the party. It's fine. Take the smaller camp first. Too bad we didn't go ahead of that. That was the nasty hit. I kind of feel like we might need bags and belts on that hybrid build. I don't know where we're going to fit it. But I want to keep the weapons we're using as well as a pike in there. It's just BB size. It's just that. All right. We do have 115 male replacements. It's fine. Okay. What are we doing about... I guess I need to look at that build for a second. Let's look at that build for a second. All right. So this is the build we were playing with, right? Where's the ranged hybrid here? So whip hybrid was pretty pure. Cleaver and polearm. We have to have cleaver spec again, unfortunately. It doesn't matter if we want to do that because it's too expensive to use without cleaver spec, so that's got to be in there. Need backstabber because you need the hit chance. Don't have to have polearm spec. It doesn't combo with this at all. Could have a polearm, just not use polearm spec. I like anticipation on this build. I think nimble's pretty necessary. I think killing frenzy and berserk are probably what we want, but maybe not. So it becomes basically, do we want recover? Probably. Second weapon spec. I think we want throwing spec, right? The other problem with the range hybrid is you don't get to if I take it this way, I don't get bow spec. I don't think this is we're gonna want crossbows here, right? Because crossbows just aren't doing what we want them to do in this scenario. So I think it's gonna be, man, I want to try out the new like dedicated like throwing build with the throwing mastery weapons, and I kind of want bags and belts. The other things that benefit this are duelist, since it does increase throwing weapon damage by a significant chunk. And what are we using this fucker for? Well, I think we are giving up on polearm for sure. The polearm spec, which is a little bit annoying, but not the end of the world. It does trigger poorly. And we're looking for 4 AP swaps, right? We want to be able to whip plus do something for 4 AP. The 4 AP is bow or throwing weapon. And throwing weapon's a lot more damage. Bow is going to bring enemies to us a little bit more consistently. But I really dislike using bows if I'm not taking bow spec and bullseye, because it really fucks up my ability to run them as a back rank. And if I really want to run 4 archers plus 2 hybrids versus goblins, I'm not sure that I can afford not to have them bow spec'd. And where are we going to get bags and belt? Because I kind of like the idea of running bow, this, a net, and a pike in this build. Gotta reread bags and belts. Oh, two-handed weapons still cost me fucking fatigue. So if I put a bow in there, it's still a huge amount of fatigue. And if I put a pike in there, it's still a huge amount of fatigue. What a useless fucking ability. Why did they nerf this? Was it necessary that bags and belts got nerfed? Like, why? Why was bags and belts nerfed? Like, it seems so unnecessary. Was it so strong? Was it such a high damage perk? All right, so we're not gonna be able to use that because it's just not good enough. So what does that mean? That means either a bow. So we can't have net plus those. Can have a throwing weapon. Throwing weapon's only 5 shots. 5 shots will do it in all the fights that aren't goblin fights. But what are we gonna do about the big goblin fights? But they didn't nerf it relative to shields, right? Like right now, this doesn't. Shields don't take extra stuff, right? Like the shield. If you have bags and belts, shields don't do anything. It just literally says except for two-handed weapons. I might have enough pure archers. I don't want to trade 6 pure archers and range hybrids. I would like to meet the needs of our campaign with 4 archers and 2 hybrids, 2 ranged hybrids. If I want this to be a ranged hybrid, I feel like it have to have bow spec, right? So I could take them without bullseye on bow spec. So maybe that becomes one of the ones we lose. Currently have 2 things open. I want recover, throwing spec, duelist, and bow spec. And there's 4 there. Oh man, that's so painful. No recover again. We just have to have very high stamina builds on my hybrids. Do have a wild man hybrid, it is possible, but I've been trying to level range defense, trying to get range defense to 20. Berserk seems wrong, does it? It's one of the only damage abilities in the game. Oh, Berserk is definitely not wrong. Well, maybe it's wrong. I don't know. I mean, I guess if we're not killing things, maybe it's not wrong. But it does, if we're going to take weapon systems that use 4 AP, then Berserk is quite good, right? Because we get a second attack with that. If our plan is whip, double axe throw, that's a big deal. I thought you were actually thinking about cutting Killing Frenzy, which seemed reasonable to me. Like the damage buff only happens if you get last hits. You may or may not get last hits with, this depends. Depends what our weapon systems are. Also, not taking a weapon spec like Polar Mastery means that it costs a bunch more fatigue to fight for long periods of time. Very unclear on what this is going to end up doing. I mean, if we don't take Killing Frenzy and Berserk, we can certainly do that. I don't know, Puri. It's a lot of work to edit stuff like that. Recover seems unnecessary. It's probably not, but we can try to build without it. You would just run into situations where it is necessary and it sucks not to have it. But I don't see cutting Nimble. I mean, I guess the other one we could have potentially tried to cut is Anticipate. But like, can you imagine going into a Goblin fight without Anticipate on your back rank? You're going to die. So it's probably not Anticipate cutting. So Nimble, Anticipate, Cleaver Spec, Backstabber, Gifted, Quick Hands as Student are all pretty much essential. So that leaves us 4. Frenzy, Berserk, Duelist, Bow Spec, Throwing Spec, and Recover. So maybe Recover is the one we drop. Probably Duelist we end up dropping. It's just a damage. I mean, it's a damage modifier that doesn't require us to kill things though. And it's not that different from a 25% damage for 2 turns, right? It's just passively 25% 25% damage ignore on these. And they already have pretty good. No, they don't have pretty good. So that's a pretty big increase to damage ignore. It literally doubles the damage that we're doing to the health pool, right? Maybe it's drop killing frenzy. Try duelist. So duelist, throw spec, bow spec. We get one more. Frenzy? I mean berserk rather? Dropping the whip? No. We're not dropping the fucking whip. Absolutely not. Well, we can't have all the things, chat. And the throwing weapon spec's kind of a big deal. Like, that's a huge damage increase. Yeah, cleaver spec is 100%. The whip's a cleaver. Maybe the whip on a non-ranged hybrid. No, that's the entire point of this build. Is non-ranged hybrids just got a huge fucking nerf. They're back to being useless again. They were always useless. And then they added the whip and they were suddenly useful. And then they removed the whip and they're useless again. Is there any way we could run them not bow spec'd? Probably not. You don't see the backline whip guy is useful without a polearm. I think they're just as useful without the polearm. What I mean, if you really want to versus the undead, you could leave the bow at home and bring a polearm instead of bring a whip, a polearm, and a throwing axes. Why do I want to use throwing axes so much? Because they're a new addition. They were right on the border of usable prior to this, just underneath the cutoff, and now they've added new throwing axes, which I think are good enough. Drop backstabber. No, I don't think so. I think that's one of the advantages of being in the back rank, is you can realistically have a little bit lower melee attack than you would in the front rank because of backstabber. Backstabber is one of these perks that's twice as good in the back rank as it is in the front rank. Feels like that's one of the key elements of a hybrid build. But maybe backstabber is not necessary because we're only using the whip now. We don't use polearms. Why not run a cleaver duelist without throwing weapons bow? What? Why not run a cleaver duelist without throwing weapons bow for whip use? You mean like we were before the whip nerf? The whole point of reworking this build is because you can only whip once now? You can only disarm once because it costs 5 fatigue? Does it have to be throwing axes? Would javelins also work? I think the axes are better than javelins, but we'll try them both. Standard frontline with cleaver spec and quick hands. Maybe, but you gotta start thinking about the stats that cost, right? Like your standard frontliner's already, I don't know. Like where are you gonna get a perk on a standard frontliner? Giving up gifted and not taking one of the new one of the survivability perks? Like our frontliners are already so tight on perks. I actually like the backstabber one the most. Oh, you're talking about a different build entirely, Andre. So I don't know, man. I feel like the new frontliners need more survivability this patch than they did last patch because of the way that Chosen work. I'm not sure that I really believe I can get quick hands in there. Can skip quick hands. That's certainly possible. Just get a single disarm that way. Doesn't strike me as exciting, but it's probably possible. All right, chat, I'm gonna grab water. We don't have to make this decision this instant, right? Since we don't have a perk point, but I do want to start thinking about it. We may skip backstabber and see how bad it is for us. I mean, 65 melee skill at level 4 with no perk points, like man, with no stars, that's pretty painful to skip backstabber. Backstabber has a huge synergy, but it's only melee weapons, right? Yeah. So it doesn't. I mean, the whip is technically a melee weapon. And it is the most important part of his character is hitting the disarms, right? So maybe it is. Maybe it's just essential. But I did like the idea of that maybe being one of the ones to get rid of. All right, I'll be back in a second. I'm going to grab water. See you guys shortly. Seen some pretty crazy suggestions in chat. Dropping rotate is such a no-no. Rotate works when all your guys have it, and it starts to fail when all your guys don't have it. Because you can't predict which guy is going to be shit on the most, and you need to have people adjacent to him who are capable of rotating him. And you always run into the fact that no one's ever going to have stam. So it's like, the less guys you have with rotate, the less consistent your rotation saves are. If you're going to literally design the best possible hedge knife, best 2 perks. If you're talking about for the Lone Wolf start, Y-Ocean, you should ask Arbius. He seems to have a plan. I think he wanted HP and something else. I don't know. I haven't played the solo start enough. Looking at a pure cleaver duelist with whip doesn't really lack for perk points. Yes, they do. No, I'm not gonna drop rotate. It's a stupid idea. Like, it's the biggest survivability perk of any survivability perk in the game is rotate. Do I want to cut that from my guys? Absolutely not. Anyways, round and round, figured out. All right, we got another fight right now. Everyone's ready to go. I do need to level this banner a little bit. But this is the fight that you bring stuff to. Is there another 8 brigands coming out over there?